The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls and others build windmills. He who knows others is wise, he who knows himself is enlightened. The superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his actions. The wise adapt themselves to circumstances, as water molds itself to the pitcher. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. To know what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. The key to success is not to seek perfection, but to persistently improve oneself. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. A wise man adapts himself to circumstances, as water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength, mastering yourself is true power. A diamond with a flaw is worth more than a pebble without imperfections. When anger rises, think of the consequences. The greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The wise person is one who knows what he does not know. If you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help others. A single conversation with a wise person is worth a month's study of books. The way to do is to be. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. To see things in the seed, that is genius. A person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the man doing it. The good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. A wise man learns from his own mistakes. A wiser man learns from the mistakes of others. The wise do not grieve for what they lack, but rejoice in what they have. The best fighter is never angry. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. When it is obvious that goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. To love a thing means wanting it to live. He who conquers others is strong, he who conquers himself is mighty. The greatest conqueror is he who conquers himself. It is better to light a candle than curse the darkness. To know yet to think that one does not know is best. Not to know yet to think that one knows will lead to difficulty. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The highest good is like water. Water gives life to the 10,000 things and does not strive. The person who removes a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. A wise man makes his own decisions, an ignorant man follows public opinion. If you want to know what a man is like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. When one door closes, another opens. But we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which has opened for us. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. Patience is a bitter plant, but it has sweet fruit. An inch of time is an inch of gold, but you can't buy that inch of time with an inch of gold. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. The only way to win with a toxic person is not to play. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. The journey is the reward. To see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. A fool despises good counsel, but a wise man takes it to heart. The wise man is satisfied with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. The way to gain a good reputation is to endeavor to be what you desire to appear. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. A wise man knows that he knows nothing. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who is doing it. If you want to find happiness, find gratitude. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. If you want to change the world, start with yourself. The man who removes a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. When you see a good person, think of becoming like them. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. If you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help others. The wise adapt themselves to circumstances, as water molds itself to the pitcher. Be not afraid of growing slowly, be afraid only of standing still. The person who says something is impossible should not interrupt the person who is doing it. The wise person does at once what the fool does at last. The more you know, the less you need. The best fighter is never angry. A great man is hard on himself, a small man is hard on others. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. If you plan for 1 year, plant rice. If you plan for 10 years, plant trees. If you plan for 100 years, educate mankind. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. The hardest thing of all is to find a black cat in a dark room, especially if there is no cat.